my name is Madeline and I am a pattern designer, and here is where I share all the things I've been making recently. This episode will cover probably the last 5-ish weeks of things that I have been sewing primarily, and a little bit of extra things like some knitting and fiber arts that I have been working on. I'm really excited to share today with you. I have quite a few things to share, and if we get to enough time, I'll also share some things that are works in progress. And mostly this is just a comfy, cozy podcast style episode that is hopefully good for you to be listening to while you're working on another project, and just enjoy some sewing chats and talking all about fun fabrics and projects that I'm working on. Okay, let's start with what I am wearing. So this is my Madeline sweatshirt pattern. Admittedly, this is not my favorite fabric. It's actually a French cherry, but it was from Joanne and it was their Juicy Couture line. And it just kind of is more clingy, but it is really comfortable. I don't love how it drapes because of that like clinginess. I generally prefer a more structured knit fabric, but it is extremely comfortable. And today we're going for cozy. I wanted to wear my slippers and be cozy and chat with you on hopefully a nice fall day. Hopefully the weather is cooling for you, or if you're on the southern hemisphere, it's warming up, but you're still in that in-between weather. And I just wanted to feel comfy today. So this is, like I said, my Madeline sweatshirt, and the fabric is no longer available, but I do love this sweatshirt. It's great to sleep in, it's great to exercise in, and it's great just for a cozy day. We're gonna start with something a little bit different today. So I was recently sent a really fun kit. This was from Babylon Leather. They have these incredible leather bag making kits, and they kindly sent me one. And so I wanted to share that with you. This is what I made. It is adorable. I actually really enjoyed making this. So it's all hand sewn by hand. This was not done on my machine. It was just hand stitching. And my little girls loved making it with me. We were at a doctor's office working on it, and we sat there for about an hour waiting for somebody who needed to be picked up. And so we sat there working on it together, and it was such an enjoyable project. I think that this is one of those things that if you have a sewer in your life, or if you're wanting to treat yourself, that this is like such a good gift or just another project. I love this bag. I will link which one I did below, as well as a 10% off discount that they gave me. That is an affiliate link, so use it at your own discretion. But I really truly enjoyed making this, and I wish that I would have filmed more content around it, but I was working on it primarily just like right before bed or with my kids at the doctor's office. And this one was a really quick sew, so I didn't get a lot of content around it. I think I want to go back and get a more involved make. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like enjoy it or not, so I got something simple, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and will definitely be going back and purchasing one probably bigger. This one is so cute, but I will say I have the big iPhone size, and it fits in there with like a diaper, and that's it. So I think I would get a bigger bag next time, although I absolutely love this one. I think that the color is so beautiful. This is a vegetable tanned leather. It has the green. I kind of wish I had gotten the green, so I think next time I'll do that, or the red for a bigger bag. But they also have pebbled leather, and I don't know, I spent so much time just like picking out because they were all so pretty. So, all right, another thing that I made today, this last couple weeks, I've actually talked about this one before. I counted it as a finished object in my last video, but I went back and I did make some changes to this. Is called the Carol top, and this is my latest sewing pattern. And I loved how this one looked, but the neck on it was the wider view. And after testing, I had quite a bit of feedback from the testers, as well as you guys saying that you wanted a closer neck option. Now it's not like super close, but it is significantly, I think it was 27 centimeters less wide, so like a big amount. I had some testers do the smaller neckline for me, and they gave me great feedback and gave me the measurements that they loved, and we kind of assessed based on what those were, and I went back and adjusted this neckline for it. I'll include some pictures for you right here. I love how this one turned out, and I definitely find that I'm wearing it more with the smaller neckline option, but I do still love the wider neckline option, so I'm glad that the pattern now has both views. When it was released, it came with both views. So anyway, just wanted to point out that I did adjust this. It was actually kind of a couple-hour process because the neckline I had to unpick. I had to steam and press all of the gathers out and then put the new neckline in, and it was a little bit hard to get this part perfect because I already had the buttonholes in, and so unpicking right here was a little tricky, but it worked out, and I absolutely love this top. This is fabric it's one of my own designs. This is a fabric that I had printed at Spoonflower, and I just did that because I kind of wanted to get a feel for what it was like to order fabric from Spoonflower, and then also I wanted to get a range of their fabric. So I printed this one on quilting cotton, and it's really, really lovely. I would say I do prefer their seersucker, their cotton seersucker over their quilting cotton, but I still really like this, and I find myself wearing this a lot. It also has tortoiseshell buttons. I'll show you those here. And I think that the tortoiseshell with the green is just the prettiest combo. The green is showing a little bit lighter or more like vibrant in this camera screen, but it is a little bit more of like it's not super dark, but it's a little bit deeper than it's showing on the screen. But I love the combination of the tortoiseshell buttons and the green with the green, what I'm calling window panes. But this is very similar of a replication to the wallpaper that was in my grandma's kitchen growing up. And this fabric design comes from my grandma's house fabric collection. These are also in no particular order, by the way. So this one I'm so excited about. So this is a pattern that I have not released. I've only talked about briefly, but it's a pattern that I was hoping to release this year, and I'm just not gonna have enough time, so it'll be next year. But this is called the paper pants. So these are a kind of straight to wide leg trouser, and they have these, it's a paper bag waist, so it comes up above. I love that it doesn't have a waistband. This is just a waist tie, and it has these beautiful pleats. You can see the back also has these gorgeous pleats. I love this little triangular detail and this waistband. So I did this in a cotton poplin. So the story behind this pattern is that my sister a few years ago gifted me a pair of trousers basically identical to this, and I started getting holes in them because they were made out of poplin, and so I've worn them heavily over the last probably 6 years, and I have looked so many times to order a new pair or find a pattern that existed like this pair of not this pair, but the original pair of ready-to-wear pants, and I could not find anything. Not the same. Like, I loved every detail about it, and so I decided I would take it upon myself to recreate the pattern, because you can't buy them ready to wear anymore, and you cannot, I cannot find a pattern, like a sewing pattern, that is the same. And so I decided I would do it. So I even found a very similar, the original pair of pants was almost the same color, and I replicated them in poplin. I absolutely love how they came out, except for the fact that they do not fit. Like, I can get them buttoned up and zipped up, but they look comically small. So I realized after what happened, because as I'm drafting, you do things without the seam allowance when you are originally drafting. And then one of the last steps is to add seam allowance. And I somehow managed to print, assemble, and make the whole pattern without seam allowance, which just means that it ended up being 8 centimeters smaller around the waist and hips than it should have been, and even it reduced a little bit of space in the length. And so they're too small, because 8 centimeters, for those of you who like inches, that is about 3 inches too small. So they do not fit. They're gonna go to my sweet sister, who is smaller than me. So she gave me the pants originally because they were too big, and now I will gift her a pair of brand new pants in her size very shortly. So I actually have enough fabric. Luckily, I had ordered enough fabric so I can make a second pair for myself that will fit, and I'll be able to do a couple wear tests. I'll be making them in some other fabrics as well, but I like to wear my patterns for at least like a month, sometimes more, just to do adjustments. So I know that it sews together beautifully, and I know that adding seam allowance won't change that, but I wear them around. I adjust things based on how they fit, how they feel when I'm sitting in them, when I'm wearing them, when I'm walking around, when I'm playing with my kids. And so I will make another pair for myself. I'll be wearing them, and then I'm also going to make a denim pair to see how that feels differently before I move forward with this pattern. But this little floppy bow is kind of bothering me. But anyway, I'm extremely happy with this pair of pants. I feel like it was some of my better sewing work. Sometimes I get really excited and I just sew for fun, but I'm very, very proud of these pants, and I'm very excited about the potential of this pattern. And I just love the name Paper Pants because it's a piece of paper bag, and then the poplin is just such a fun pattern. I also only have I have 3 pants patterns in my wardrobe, in my collection. I have the Jordan overalls, which you can just make as a trouser pattern, the Madeline pants, and the Madeline shorts. But I'm really excited to have a pair of like true zipper fly pants in my pattern collection. And I think that this is the most Madswick me design that I could have picked. And I'm very, very excited with how it is coming along and how it will continue. I am going to hopefully do another view option, and it will most likely have some sort of a barrel leg. It'll be constructed exactly the same, but there may be some width of the leg options. I don't know if I'm considering also a tapered leg view. So if you have any thoughts on that, let me know. I'm also considering, we'll see. I try not to offer too many view options, but with these trousers, I feel like I could offer many view options without changing how they're constructed, which is the really truly tricky bit. But I could just offer different pattern pieces with a shorts view or a barrel leg or a tapered view to give a few options. So let me know if there's anything in particular that you are thinking about that you would like, and let me know before I dive more into that. All right, next thing, let's move on. Okay, this one is so hard to show not on a body, but I will hold it up. So this is my Ginkgo pinafore that I made. This is a Ginkgo pinafore, but I added a flutter sleeve to this one. I made a full video tutorial on how to do that, as well as the extra pattern piece. I've had a few requests for like sleeve options for this pattern because it is a sleeveless pattern, which I love, but I also thought it'd be fun to have some options there as well. I made this out of a Rami cotton twill, is I believe the name of it. And this is one of my designs that I collaborated with the Linen Lab to print. This fabric is so beautiful. It's a satin weave, and it is just soft. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And so I was very excited to have this Ginkgo pinafore made out of it. I really love it, but if I were to do it again, I would change something. The original pattern has kind of a deep V-neck because the pattern, I have it intended that you are going to probably wear it in the winter over something, and it looks better deep. But then in the summer, there's a lot of people who wear it without anything, and it's still quite beautiful that way. But for myself, I was like, I think I want it a little bit higher. And I don't know why I thought that, because now I don't like it. Like, I like the dress, but I don't like that I raised the V-neck. It was just kind of an impulse decision of raising it. I think I did 1 inch, and I don't think it looks as good. Where I have it, I think looks better. It still doesn't look bad, but it just looks better, the original. I don't know why I played with it. I mean, that's okay. I do really like it though. and I really like how this fabric flows, and I'm really excited. I did feel like I made it kind of towards the end of summer, and so it will probably get a lot more wear next summer, but I'm really happy to have it in my wardrobe for that. The next thing I made was this Carol blouse. So this month, I mentioned this already, but I released the Carol blouse pattern. And so this was my final sample that I made. I think this is my favorite Carol blouse that I made. This one has the wider neckline, and I made this out of a cotton. I went to my quilt shop, my local quilt shop. I don't have any local garment fabric shops. And I basically said, what's your highest quality cotton? And they showed me this one. It's not quite a poplin. It's like a soft, it's wonderful. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love how it holds this beautiful neckline. So with this pattern, you have this exposed, like it almost looks like smocking, but it's just exposed with bias binding on the inside. And I added some cotton trim. You can kind of see that scallop right here. That's not a special stitch, that's just cotton trim. And I just couldn't be more in love with how this turned out. I also really enjoy the buttons. They're kind of like, I'll show you right here. They're kind of like stained glass windows. And I just think they're so beautiful. I've been wearing them with some dark red huaraches that I have. And I really love how this blouse turned out. I honestly don't think I have anything at all negative to say. I feel like everything about this one turned out perfectly. It has the beautiful French seams on the inside. The gathers just look so nice. The cotton drapes really, really nicely. The lace that I used worked out really well. And yeah, I just like no notes. Like this is, to me, one of my most treasured blouses in my closet. It just feels so nice and so polished, and I'm really, really happy with this one. And I was very happy with sharing it when I launched the pattern, and I just feel really happy with how that came out. And I should say, those of you who are watching, thank you for encouraging me to launch Carol. I wasn't sure if I wanted to release it, but I'm so happy that I did. You guys have loved it, and I'm just personally so happy to have these Carols in my wardrobe. And I think it's such a good pattern for people to make a really elevated, really nice blouse without being overly fussy or complicated. So thank you for the encouragement. I needed it, and I really, truly appreciate it. Okay, I'm just picking things up off the floor as they come along. So these are obviously in no particular order, but you guys have all been so sweet about my knitting, so I thought I'd share. I finished my Maggie cardigan, and I absolutely love it. This one was a little bit trickier for me, so I've only ever knit one other thing. It was my novice sweater by Petite Knit, and I really enjoyed that knit, but it was all in the round. It was all really, there wasn't a lot of technical skills that were needed, whereas this one has just a lot more technical skills. Petite Knit has like rankings on her website for how the difficulty levels. So the novice sweater was like 1 star out of 5, and this one was 4 out of 5. And although it's all one color, like because of all the shoulder shaping and everything, it was just a little tricky for me to figure out at first, but it was so satisfying and such a good learning experience. I just truly am so happy with it. I will say though that I wore it, and one of you kindly reached out and let me know that I had done something wrong. And this isn't like that wasn't a bad thing. I was actually genuinely so grateful. So I had no idea that I had been twisting my pearls. I had no idea what that meant. I'm so new at knitting, but basically you can see there's a difference from right here when I'm knitting on the flat to when I get here and I'm knitting on the round. I actually quite like the texture of this, but I'm so glad to know why it was switching. I thought it was that I was using like the wrong needle and I could not figure it out, but it's that I knitted the whole sweater wrong. So that was a really, really good learning opportunity for me to learn how to purl correctly. I thought that I had learned correctly the first time, but I clearly hadn't, and that's okay. So I'm really happy that I learned that because I have started another project, which I'll get to in whips, and there was a lot of purling that could have gone wrong, and that one is knitted mostly in the round, so it would have been much more noticeable. Although this is noticeable on the sleeves, I've just accepted it. I would have to restart the whole sweater because all of it is knitted incorrectly, but I still love the fit of it. I still love it. I've been wearing it a lot with my skirts, my Zamora skirts, and I'm just really happy with this make and how it turned out. I made it out of the Knitting for Olive Dusty Banana Merino and Soft Silk Mohair. I will be honest, when the yarn came in at first, I was going for a butter yellow. It came in and it was a little bit more dusty and beigey than I thought it was going to be. But once it started knitting up, it turned into this beautiful, beautiful yellow. And so I was just a little bit cautious at first of like, am I gonna like this? I'm not sure. And I did end up loving it. And I remember those twins who knit mentioned kind of something similar. And I think once I saw Rachel's swatches, I was like, okay, I am going to like this color. It'll be beautiful. It is what I was looking for. Dusty Banana and Butter Yellow has been having a moment all year, and I definitely hopped on the bandwagon, but no regrets. I'm so happy with this one and how it turned out. All right. Another goal of mine is to just do a little bit more personal sewing and to use other designers' patterns a little bit more. It's wonderful to create your own patterns, and it is a really fun experience, and it's obviously my job, but using other people's designs and patterns is just also really good. I think it's good to see what you guys are using and what you guys are resonating with, what you are liking. I also think it's just good to not have all of my sewing be revolved around work. And so I decided, because something that I feel like I'm lacking in my wardrobe is good pants. So I decided to finally make the Ginkgo trousers right here. I will put a picture in, but I made the Ginkgo trousers by Daughter Judy. I feel like these pants have been popular for a while now, and I've always wanted a pair, just never took the time to make them. And I understand the hype now. The fit for me was spot on. I didn't have to do any modifications. I can't remember what size I made, but I didn't have to make any modifications. I didn't have to change the length. And the only thing that was like mildly tricky for me, which I had read that many people struggled with, was the zipper fly construction. It was just different than what I'm used to or what I would typically do. And so I just had to pay a lot of attention to like make sure I was doing it right. But once it came together, it was fantastic. But it just took a little bit more focus for me to do. Not that that's a bad thing. It was actually quite a good experience, but I find myself wearing these all the time. I'm really, really happy with this pair, and I plan to make like a denim color as well at some point because they just fit me really well. So I'm really happy with that. This is a denim from Fabric Godmother. I used to get their Dream Wardrobe boxes, which are so fun. Oh my goodness, I should sign up again. But they send out a pattern and fabric once a month to their subscribers, as well as a gift. And some of my patterns have actually been in the Dream Wardrobe box, but this was before I had any patterns that I got this. And I think these were supposed to be the Harleen Dungarees by Merchant & Mills. I still want to make that pattern eventually, but I decided finally to just cut into this fabric that they had sent with that pattern and save that for another day, and no regrets. I always enjoy doing like a fun pocket. So I used my Drifting on the Vineyard in a different colorway in the pockets, and I just absolutely love the combination. Nobody really sees it but me, but it makes me really happy. So very happy with how these turned out, and I will definitely be making another pair soon. All right, and I know this is September, so you can be annoyed with me all you want, but I have been reworking my Christmas tree skirt pattern. This was the first pattern I had ever released, and so I wanted to make a video tutorial, and then I had a few requests to make a larger size, a 60-inch or 154 centimeter size, and the biggest I had was, I think, a 48-inch. And so I went ahead this last week and I made some tree skirts. I'll try to hold this up for you guys. It is massive. I'm very curious to know what size of trees people have to want a 60-inch tree skirt, because we have a 8-foot tree and my 48-inch one like feels kind of big, but it is beautiful. I'm very, very in love with it. I think it's adorable. So this is the very, very large one that I made, and I probably could have, to make it like stiff enough to hold up, I probably should have used like 3 things of batting because it's just so big, but it is beautiful. And when it's on the ground, it lays beautifully. I used my mirrored canvas fabric and my birds of a feather fabric that I designed in collaboration with the Linen Lab, and I'll link those below as well. I designed them as a collection so that they'd look cute together, and when I was planning this tree skirt, I realized like these two felt Christmassy, but they felt not Christmassy, if that makes sense. And I already have some, like a very Christmas Nutcracker themed tree skirt, so I was like, I'm gonna go a little bit outside the box on this one. And I really, really like how these fabrics turned out. This is just a really, really fun make. So I've now updated that pattern and it's available for those of you. People have been buying this pattern all year round. It cracks me up. And I saw a huge surge in July for the people buying this pattern. And I think because you're just trying to make sure you get it done before Christmas. But I laugh. I just think it's so funny that I've been talking about this pattern all week and it's September, but I know that it takes a minute to buy fabric and to make things for the holidays. So for those of you who are prepping, that is now in the pattern. But that one was too big to record for the tutorial. I don't have enough space to record things that are that big. I just don't have enough table space or camera angles. And so I made the 20-inch side, which is also included in the pattern. And look how cute it turned out. I think it turned out so sweet. These are for like those little mini trees, the little 2-4-foot trees. And this was very, very cute. And I'm happy that after all these years, I finally have a video tutorial for this pattern. So anyway, the same fabric, all the same things. Oh, I should show you. The back is just a solid, it's just a solid color. You could just do a solid color on both sides if you wanted, but I do like the scallops and the panels. So that was fun. That was really, really fun to make those the last few days. And now I have to go back to reality of no more Christmas thoughts until later, but it was still fun to work on. Let's talk a little bit about my whips. So those are all my finished objects. That's everything I made the last, I think it's been 5 or 6 weeks. I'm sorry it's been so long. Releasing a pattern really takes it out of me of like, I have so much to do when I release a pattern. And so I'm happy to be back. And then whips, this is my bag of whips. And if you saw my last episode, these may be the same. So this is a Zamora skirt that I'm working on. I was hoping to finish it with my Maggie cardigan. I will finish that. I'm telling you guys, I'm committed. I will finish this before the next episode. And then these two are very fall-esque. Like I have to finish them before the next episode because I want to wear them during fall. This is I'll just pull out. They're not coming together. Okay, this one's coming first. This is a pair of Jordan overalls, but just the trouser view, so no overalls view. This is a linen wool blend. Also been talking about this one for a while, but I want to wear these. I want these trousers in my closet. I think they are so pretty. They're just like the perfect straight leg trouser. They're elastic waist in the back, but they're not in the front, so they look really nice and polished while being comfortable. These are going to happen. I think I'm going to do a sewing marathon We'll see. I've thought about doing like a 24-hour one. We'll see if I can do that. Probably can't, but I may do a week-long marathon where I try to finish sewing up some of my loose ends. There's some tutorials and patterns that I want to create in a week, and I just thought it'd be fun to challenge myself. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing something like that. But though that one is on my list, as well as this one. This is meant to be a raida dress, but with the smocked view, which is view C, and I'm going to use shirring elastic in the neckline instead of doing the gathering basting method. So this one has to happen as well because I want to wear it this fall, and it's also still like a really lightweight fabric, which is great because fall here is still pretty warm. So those are my current whips. I have many other plans. I may also do a planning video. Let me know if you'd be interested in that, of the things I want to make for fall and winter. I find that doing both seasons at the time helps me because I just can't sew fast enough for every season. But I am really happy with that. Oh, let me get my last whip. So since finishing the Maggie cardigan, I have started on my Monday sweater, also by Petite Knit. I know I'm going to try other designers eventually. I just have a very long list of Petite Knit patterns that I'm obsessed with, but I need to get a longer wire on this, but I actually kind of like knitting with a shorter wire. I just find it's easier. But I am creating the Monday sweater by Petite Knit. I'm about to, I don't know the right word, it's not cast off, but I'm about to divide for the sleeves and the body separately. So I think I have one more row and then I'll be just going in the round for the body, which I'm really excited about. This one is going much faster for me than the Maggie cardigan did. And I think that's partially just because I'm not having to purl as much. And I feel like I learned so much from the Maggie cardigan that I'm not having to relearn for this one. So I'm hoping I can finish this one in 2 months. We'll see. I'm about a month in, so we'll see on that one. The Maggie cardigan took me 4 months and the novice sweater took me 3 months. So I'm hopeful that I can make this in 2, mostly because it is a fall color and I'm really hoping to wear it, especially with my Zamora skirts this fall. It is in the color, it is Knitting for Olive, soft silk mohair, and merino, held together in the color camel. So I obviously really like that color for fall, but I am unashamedly a brown person. I just really like the color brown. All right, that is everything for today. Thank you if you made it this far. Let me know what you've been sewing. I love hearing about what you've been sewing in the comments. Please let me know if there's anything else you'd like to. If you'd like to see more videos like this, I upload them every few weeks and I'd love to hear what you have to say. Go ahead and subscribe for more podcasts like this, and I hope to see you here again.